Hey everybody, this is our week 4 CWL invite war recap. We faced off against WHF this war. It was a very good war to those guys. They had a very, very, very good war at Town Hall 10. So that was a huge difference in this war. In fact, I think we did better most everywhere else, except for the most important part for the most part. So good game to those guys. I think they ended up with 6 or 7 10v10 triples, and we did a little bit better on our 11v10 dips and our 10v11s. We got them done with fewer attacks. I think our 9s might have been about the same on both sides, but it was a good war no matter what. So 4-star difference had to do with all those 10v10 triples they had. So good war to those guys. And I'll get the recap. A whole bunch of Town Hall 9s, but got one Town Hall 10 triple to show you. Let me get down there and show you what Buggy did to this base. Everyone loves a good dragon hit. So base has a couple of nice points for funneling, and he's going to have a little queen walk here that's going to come around the side of the base over here from the about 2 o'clock side and wrap all the way around, and the queen's going to be able to get down 3 of the air defenses. We'll be able to make a good value here and never get into range of the CC, and doesn't encounter Inferno until way on the back end of the attack. By that time, he'll be able to deal with it, but just funnels off a whole lot of the base. Is able to get good value here for 4 healers and his queen and a couple rages to make it through all this DPS here when he gets these this expo aggroed. And but yeah, starts his dragons and puts his king down for also just essentially for funneling to keep the dragons to go right up the gut. He also puts in loons to come through with it, and he had a maxed dragon in his CC, and he gets the last AD down over here with a haste spell and a couple of loons just to kind of snipe it off. So he's able to snipe that down. Still has and very fortunately has his queen start breaking through the wall up here, so she'll break into this wall all on her own, and will then be able to directly target the Inferno Tower without any trouble at all. And so he has his phase for her and gets down the Inferno Tower, and then Queen ends up having to deal with the Hound, but all the while he still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. How many is that? 7 dragons. So yeah, really nice hit. Tons of overkill on a Town Hall 10, so that's nice. I mean, it's a low weight Town Hall 10, but very nice hit. Good work there, and got a couple of fun Town Hall 9 attacks now to show you. Pretty standard Lalo to this base, but does a really good job of just getting some easy value with some wizards, and pushes in really cheaply with just his royals, and is able to push in to this compartment up here, and with this push and bowlers he's going to be able to get in, and he'll get down 2 air defenses, the queen, and deal with the CC. This side over here ended up having some Teslas on it as well, so he'll get that value, and his queen takes a walk, so his kill squad ends up not getting as much value as it could. But once the baby dragon comes and chases down the queen and she takes it out, he still just has good pathing with the Tesla farm over here, and has a haste spell to get his loons quickly through there, and gets then the nice wrap coming around the base, and he's going to end up having to deal with the sweeper here, but just does a good job of getting his loons down on this side over here so that everything will path through that core, and has a heal spell to deal with the wizard tower, and still has a rage and another haste to get everything. And so just being really patient, letting the loons wrap around, and lets them eventually, they kind of wander their way over to the sweepers, and has a rage to deal with the last two wizard towers, and everything split up really nicely. He was just really patient with his Lalo, let everything develop, watched the pathing, was really aware of where his troops were going to go before they were, had changed their target, and just stayed really patient with it. So it was just a really good job. That's how you Lalo, but not a Lalo clinic right there. Just being aware of what defense will be next, and giving his loons the time to kind of make that path, and not getting ahead of yourself with your loons, which can happen pretty easily. Actually going to get Afshin's 6-pack covered here. Another really nice Lalo. Afshin just getting back to what he does best. I know he's had a couple rough wars, so I know he was glad to get back on the ball with this one. So with this, he's got a neat little couple 3-4 Valks that come in with his king and queen and a jump spell, and it just gets him access into the queen and to the CC, and he's going to get down just the one air defense, but with it he's going to get a couple of archer towers and a wizard tower, so gets enough value. And again, the queen kind of had a storage to work her way through, so she had to deal with that before she could step up and take out the baby dragon. So her kill squad got killed pretty quickly, but and then she gets stuck in here when that jump fades. But the Lalo comes in, and again, just kind of the same stuff principally as the last attack, where he saw where the defenses were, and just watched and waited and gave his loons plenty of time to get there, and kind of did this in phases, where he started his Lalo from one side and let it get nice and pathed into the core, and then starts it on the other side, starts it up again on the other side to get in there and make sure his loons didn't just completely split up and start going all over the place, and also just had time to wait on the hounds to pop so that he would have the pups for cleanup, and then just has a whole mess of loons over here, just kind of pathing from the defense to defense over here. So he ended up a little bit overkill on his initial deploy of loons, but they got through the core, which is what they needed to do, and had plenty of time for everything else. So nice hit, good patience again. Enjoyed that very much. Next base. This was probably my favorite hit, best hit of the war, I think, at Town Hall 9. Super overkilled. Really nice funnel over here with a giant and a wizard. And the thing that was great here was once this giant died, the wizard wasn't the next thing to get targeted because the golem was here, and so it was closer. So the archer tower aggroed it. So this wizard comes in and funnels that off really nicely. Has a almost a kind of like a little queen walk here, but with the sweeper being a 2-tile defense. This golem will never really retarget, but it's okay. He ends up wall breaking in to this compartment, and the queen moves her way down, but the golem still sees the sweeper, so it still wants to go in there after it. But has his other 2 golems come in, and a couple of witches and bowlers, and just really nice funnel comes in, and he still has 9 hogs and 3 loons for everything on this back end. And he ends up having to put a heal on his kill squad because they jumped into a giant bomb really quickly, but he gets his bowlers healed back up to full health, and so they're in here. Everything's tanked up, and there ends up being just a hound in the CC, so the hound ends up targeting the BK. Eventually his queen catches up and is the one who has to work through the hound, but he's got his hogs coming over here, clearing out all these defenses that for the most part were tanked by the kill squad. So that was really efficient. And then he had some loons that came over here and were able to path from defense to defense over here. So super overkill. Still has his kill squad alive in the core. Still has his queen phase. Still has 2 more hogs and a rage spell. So quite a good bit of swag coming down. So very nice hit there. Completely overkills the base. So very good job. Nice job. And let's see what's next. This is one of the variations of the kind of witch slap hit. So this is the one that you run with a golem to put you up the core instead of more witches. So you put well, what did that end up being? 1, 2, 5, and 5. So you end up with 10 witches. Split them up, let them funnel, and you'll end up the better practice. I mean, it can kind of be either or. You got to be careful about when you deploy your healers. You know, witches are a lot of camp space, and because of that, the healers will stick with them because that's like the mechanics of the game. The higher camp space of troops or what they'll stick to. That's why queen walks work, because whatever it was, a queen royals are considered like 30, right? Anyways, he ends up or more than that, right? Anyways, so the witches stick with the healers, and then up the gut you get your kill squad of your single golem that initially takes a good bit of tanking, but it tanks it up just fine, and then leaves just leaves a good path for your heroes to come through. So he's still here with his queen phase to come through. They ended up just punching through this wall here. They just had that much time and that much firepower to get through. So the healers end up getting flanked down here by by these back end air defenses, but still just has so much of a meat shield out in front of those witches that they're never in danger. And this happens often where the healers will start peeling off and will come to stuff that's in the core. So that can work out for you really well sometimes, because they can hop onto your queen or onto your king that's there in the core taking the damage, because you get about halfway through the base and the witches aren't even getting targeted. So they don't even need the healers, and so the healers will just peel off again because of the mechanics of the game. So just another variation of the witch slap. So nice hit there. I think we ended up doing had a good many bases that it was just an easy easy way to clear bases. It's not the most beautiful it's not the most beautiful attack, but there's just a certain amount of a base that if you do the attack enough, you learn it, and that it'll wreck. And so you take your 3 stars and you don't complain. Just object of the game at Town Hall 9 is to clear bases as quickly as possible with it as efficiently as possible, so that you can get your scouts for your 10s and 11s and get the war into their hands. So here's a last hit for you at Town Hall 9. A nice something that you just don't see very often. Has a Quake spell that opens up a whole lot of this base, and he's going to be able to take out all 4 of the air defenses, and with that he's going to have on for the rest of these like all the wizard towers are up, so it'd be tough to deal with those with the balloons. So instead of having balloons to deal with those, he just rolls out 6 baby dragons, come in, has a couple targeted loons to just snipe down some defenses that were easy to snipe down. He does have the Tesla farm that he ends up will have to deal with. That'll be the last thing up on the space. It was a pretty effective Tesla farm where it was, but when you have the baby dragons, they just they can tank so much. And also his kill squad ended up just going all the way across the base, no problem. He still has a full health BK for the most part, and still has a golem that's not quite busted in the golemites yet, and had bowlers. They got sniped a little bit by some giant bombs, but uses his queen phase and now has 3 baby dragons collapsing in, and a couple of the Teslas are tanked by the BK. So yeah, nice hit there. Always nice to see baby drag hits. So good war. to the guys at WHF, and good war to everyone here at Alchemy. Again, I know this isn't the outcome we're hoping for. We just it's hard to get it all to come together. We've not had good luck with that. We've gotten a lot more consistent at our 11v10s, our 10v11s, our Town Hall 9. So many things have gotten more consistent for us, and then we just had one of our worst performances at Town Hall 10. So good base building to the guys at WHF, and we'll stay after it. We'll keep getting it, and we'll get it all together, and hopefully we'll get to go on a nice little run here in the middle of the season. So good game, and great is Alchemy.